this is Charlie426, and today we have the review of the Premium Bandai exclusive Master Grade Gym 2 Zeta Gundam version. Now, this specific Premium Bandai kit does have many names. Some call it the as I just said, the Zeta Gundam version. Some call it the Titans version. Some call it the Federation version, which is kind of a little bit too vague. So that's why I went for the Zeta Gundam version, because there's another Gym 2 out there that's been actually shown in the Unicorn Gundam version. So that's why I prefer to call this the Zeta Gundam version, because yeah, this one in the Zeta Gundam version, this gym was not used by the Fed. Okay, technically it would have been used by the Federation, but also we mostly seen it used by the Titans. So when I first got this and I was posting this on Facebook, I called it the Titans version, which made a lot of people confusing. So that's why I decided to go for the Zeta Gundam version. Anyway, today's review is going to be more likely a comparison and simple review, meaning that I won't be going over the articulation of this kit, because the frame is pretty much exactly 100% exact same as the Gym 2.0 or the RX-78 2.0 inner frame. So the articulation is also the exact same. So I will be going through what the difference is between the normal Gym 2.0 and this kit. And now, before we actually go on, let me show you the components. First of all, you also get the kit, of course. You get its normal shield, and you get a new beam rifle, which is mostly seen used by the Nemo, or kit-wise, you can get this by buying the Master Grade Nemo or the Gym Quell. So that's that. And there's a whole lot of different, well, not a whole, but there are a few different parts on this kit as well, which I will demonstrate later, or show you guys later. Beyond this, normally you get 2 yellow beam saber effects, which is pretty nice. And you get this sticker sheet, which has a lot of small stickers, but mostly very, very minor stickers, to be honest. Some of these is really unnecessary, but yeah. I will show which part does use the stickers and what I did to them as well. And you get, as being a Premium Bandai Master Grade, you get some water slides, which I am not a big fan of, to be honest. I don't know why people love water slides. I prefer dry transfers, but oh well, that's just me. So that's that for the basics. And now, being a Premium Bandai kit, there's a whole lot of leftover pieces. So let me get over with the ones I accidentally cut off. First of all, well, this isn't a leftover, but this is for the action-based connector, which isn't too much of a big deal, to be honest. And let me get these right over here. First of all, the ones I accidentally cut off were these pieces. Mostly the cockpit pieces, because the kit itself gives you some parts of the RX-78 in different colors. So one of these is the cockpit section, the inner section of the cockpit section, and not exactly a leftover piece, but you do get a random pilot figurine entirely white. And beyond this, let's see what we get. Now here we have a whole bunch of plates, so let me get over them one by one. Once again, the backpack inner frame, you only use one of these for the beam saber connectors. You get a different backpack inner frame because the Gym 2 has 4 thrusters on its backpack, so that's why you get a different inner frame, and you get this leftover. Let's see, we have some inner frames. We have these parts, which they don't use these inner frame parts for the legs for some odd reason, but yeah. And some hand guards right over here. You actually use white ones for this one, so that's not a big deal. And the kit does use something like this, but in a different piece, because I don't know, maybe the size is different, but you get a red version of this in a little bit shorter version, so you use an entirely different piece for this one. Some people were asking me if there are any more weapons. I had to say no, but technically you are able to make the normal Gym 2.0's beam spray gun, so that's good news. Now, the core block section, which is kind of interesting, I would like to mention, but I will talk about that at the end. So that's that. For the Gym 2.0 parts, you get its leftover shoulders. You get its body armor parts, the feet part. Technically, you get 2 of these plates, so you only get to use one set. So that's pretty much it. But you do get another set of the body part as well. So that's that. For the legs, as mentioned, being the Gym 2.0, there are some minor differences on the armor section, so you don't use a bunch of these, but it's good to note that you have leftover pieces. So if you happen to somehow buy a only inner frame part of the Gym 2.0 or leftovers, you can pretty much make your own interesting color version of the kit if you have a lot of leftovers. Those who know me, I have a lot of leftover pieces, armor pieces for the Gym 2.0 related stuff. Now you do get some part of the bazooka, but you cannot make the bazooka. You have one more beam saber left over and another pilot figurine there. This piece, which is another leftover piece, you only use one set of these. These parts, I can't remember what these are, but yeah, mostly the cockpit section, leftover pieces. And finally, the A plate, once again, leftover pieces a lot, because the Gym 2.0 does have some minor differences from the normal Gym, so that's why we have a lot of leftover pieces of the Gym. Okay, that's that. Now let's get on to the comparison. So before that, let me get to the stand. And let's get on to the differences. Now, with a shorter glimpse, you can obviously tell that the color is different. Now, the Gym 2.0 uses some sort of not exactly white, but more of a white and greenish mixture of color, while the Gym 2.0 is entirely, well, not entirely, but uses a entirely white color section. And the red is kind of different as well. While this is a little bit lighter, this is a little bit more darker. My camera could be taking that a little bit differently, but they are different red sections. The vent sections, now you actually have these yellow parts on top of the vent, while the Gym 2.0 did not have any. And obviously the shoulder, while this one's red, it's white, and not only white, but it's entirely different shoulder. And here's one of the stickers that goes onto the shoulder, the inside vents, I guess that's what they call it. They have 2 on each section, so that's 4. And the head, yeah, the head is kind of different because the color is different. The front section, because there are some minor changes here. Even the visor color is different. While this one was not exactly entirely clear, but really, really light, light green clear. While this is pretty much just a clear green piece, to be honest. And the front mouthpiece section is kind of different, so the entire front section is different. Now, they do give you a green clear piece for the camera on top of the head, and I trying not to using that, but because of the fact that this white piece covers up the entire part, it became really dark, kind of like not. It did not really look too good. So that's why I used the camera stickers on the front and on the back as well, as you can see. So that's also a different. The inner frame part is pretty much the exact same for the heads. The only different inner frame part, if I have to mention, is one piece is some parts of the legs and the core blocked, believe it or not. Okay, that's that. And this one actually has an antenna, also very fragile, so when you're building this, be extremely careful when you're attaching the antenna. The backpack, as I mentioned, is also different. Now, they do give you gives you the option to put the shield on the backpack if you want to do so, but as mentioned, this one gives you at least an option to use 2 beam sabers, while this one does not. And this one has only 2 thrusters, while this one actually has 4 thrusters, as you can see. Not to move, they don't really move that much, and they're very hard to connect. I mean, yeah, they're very stiff to connect. So that's that. The waist section is pretty much the same, and the leg section, the only different part is that this piece, this entirely covers it up, while this one actually, as I mentioned, had that red piece that goes onto the back to make this look pop out. And you have a black sticker to put on the section as well. And side of the leg, which also is not shown in the 2.0, is that you also have these red separate pieces with a black sticker that you need to put on here for extra detail. So that's it. And finally, some extra, you know what, the beam rifle is still falling off. Now, I really hate these articulated fingers, to be honest. Now, the cameras, there's one on the front which the Gym 2.0 did not have. Now, they do give you a clear piece. What they tell you to do is put the clear piece on, and on top of the clear piece, they tell you to put the green sticker. I did not do that. Instead, I put the green sticker inside and then covered it up with the clear piece, and it looks way, way better. So that's what I did. Same goes onto the backpack. I put the sticker in first and then covered up the cover that up with the clear piece. So that's what I did. If there's another sticker, if I have to mention, it's going to be this one. I believe this is my first time actually seeing a beam rifle with, instead of a green or yellow sticker inside, they give you a metallic pink sticker, which looks also nice, but yeah, I just found that interesting. And despite having this peg, unlike the Nemo, you do not get the option to put it on this waist section. And also, this also does have a different waist as well. While this has this one does not. And for the arms, there's also one more interesting detail besides the different shoulders, is that if you look at the Gym 2.0, there's nothing right over here. While as if you look, these are also different arm parts. You have this indent. I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but you have this square piece that's popping out a little bit. So that's pretty interesting detail if you ask me. The arm parts is actually also different. While this is entirely rectangular, this one actually is a little bit more roundish. So that's just letting you guys some extra details if you guys are interested. And that's pretty much it for the review. And lastly is the core block, which I would like to mention. Now, I was really surprised when I first heard that this thing, the Gym 2, was like a premium Bandai kit, because as far as I know, the Gym 2.0 uses the 360 cockpit aspect, so I was expecting this to have an entirely different build on the body section. Turns out, yes, it still does use the 360 cockpit. However, the kit or mobile suit wise, it wasn't too much different, because if I show you guys the core block, let me take out this. This is the normal core block we usually know. But the Gym 2.0's core block, if I can please take, oh boy, this is bad. Yeah, the only problem I had with this kit was the core block connecting. It did not go, this piece, I don't know, is really too tight, so it doesn't really go in well like this. It doesn't go well, so I had to do that. But if you look at the core block, this thing has a 360 cockpit, but in a core block. So that's why, of course, if you look at the back, it still has this two round things, but yeah. So that's why I guess this was mostly premium Bandai material. I'm not too disappointed, but it's good to know, or it's also good to know that I was wrong about some aspects and I actually learned something. But yeah, so that's why this is a premium Bandai kit, not exactly entirely build, but a different piece. So you do actually get this front section, an entirely new piece for this kit. So that's pretty much it for the review. Now, my final opinions is that if you're a big Gym fan like me, this is pretty much a gold material for you. If not, you're not missing out too much. I mean, some premium Bandai kits like this are really meant for like hardcore collectors sometimes, who really love certain mobile suits instead of like the usual. So that's that. So if you like the Gym 2, pretty much get it. I mean, it's a premium Bandai kit. It's not an expensive premium Bandai kit. It's pretty much your average price, or I actually got this even cheaper than the normal Gym 2.0. So it's really a matter of looking for the best price. Anyway, thank you for watching the review. This was the review of the premium Bandai exclusive Master Grade Gym 2 Zeta Gundam version review. If you guys got any questions or requests, leave a comment below. I still have more kits to buy and build and make reviews out, so please stay tuned. Until then, see you guys next time!